everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel from Mrs. Rachel Brady. Mrs. Rachel Brady is a blog, a YouTube channel, and now even a book club. I'm a mum of two and I have a third baby due in about 10 weeks. My son is 8, my daughter is 6, and I make content about family, food, home and style and books. Today I want to give you some tips about how to fall back in love with reading. So I just think it's a real problem for mums. I think for some reason a lot of mums that used to read stop reading, and I don't know if it's to do with the mental overload. You know, you talk about the mother load. So why does it matter? Why read? Who cares, right? Well, reading, for me it's a few things. For me, it is my own time away from everybody. I personally read at night, at bedtime, but whenever you choose to read, it might be a commute, or it might be that you put some time aside just before the kids get back from school, or whenever it is, it's time for you. I feel like life can feel a bit like one big to-do list. And this is your time just to do nothing apart from engage with this really interesting story. So here are 5 ways to fall back in love with reading. The first one is, there's an element of self-interest to this one. It is join an online book club. Hooray! Who's got an online book club? Me! So having an online book club means you don't even have to leave the house. It's like all things in life for me. If I can do it at home, I'm more likely to do it. Whether that's meditation, whether that's exercise, I'm just all about doing as much as possible without leaving the house. So you basically join the book club, Mrs. Rachel Brady book club on Facebook. It's a closed Facebook group. I'll approve you as long as your profile isn't too dodgy. Join the Facebook group, and then halfway through the month I'll announce the following month's book. That gives you a couple of weeks to go and buy the book or to borrow the book, and then so after the 2-week period to get the book, you'll have 4 weeks to read it. So for example, we're in July now. July's book is The Break by Marion Keyes, which I announced like about 2 weeks ago. So most people in the group have got a copy now. We'll read it together. I'm already halfway through. We'll read it together. We can jump into the group and say how we're finding it, or jump into the group and say anything you like just tell us what you're eating for dinner. It's fine. And then at the end of the month, I do a Facebook Live chat. We just did our first one last month. Last month's book was The Talented Mr. Ripley by Patricia Highsmith. I literally did the chat, sat at my kitchen table with a decaf tea in my pajamas. It's that type of thing. You can just sit back and watch the chat. You can watch the chat later. The chat is just about having that kind of deadline, for want of a better word, to read the book, and then if you'd like to chat about it, that's your opportunity. So my second tip for reading more and falling back in love with books is to mix it up. I speak to quite a lot of people in the group who one of the reasons they joined the group is because they were like, oh, I'd never pick that book. Oh, that's really good, you know, it's really good because I've never picked that book. I only read chick lit, or I only read crime genre. So I'm really good at mixing it up. Not to blow my own trumpet, I don't know, I think I used to be a book snob. I'll give you a bit of a backstory. I used to be a bit of a book snob. I wouldn't have ever read like a chick lit or like something that I would have perceived as lowbrow. I know, really twattish, right? But I used to read like classics or like really heavy intellectual books, but now like I really enjoy like that type of book that we're reading this month. It's frothy, it's light, it's good as well. Like, having tried to write a book myself, and it's something I might go back to, I really now understand how much work and talent goes into writing a book, even if it is frothy and chick litty. Try a serial killer novel, try a historical romance. I read the most amazing historical romance recently. Who knew that they were so good? Just a classic off your parents' bookshelf, you know, Jane Austen, Charles Dickens. Try something really gritty and a bit disturbing. Just really mix it up. The next tip, and something that's worked for me when I've been in like a, not lost my mojo with reading, but when I've been in a place where I'm like, oh, I have literally no idea what to read next. Ask people who you know, either on Instagram or real life or whatever, who you know read books. Like my father-in-law reads a lot of books. I've asked him before. My friend Amy just recommended some on Instagram, actually, but she is a real life friend. You know, these people who read a lot, they will have recently read a really good book, and it's just waiting for you to discover it. Even if you just put a Facebook post out there, anyone read anything amazing recently, it's a really good way to kind of shortcut straight to the really good stuff. The next tip for me is to make the time. So like I mentioned before at the start of the video, do you have a daily commute? Not obviously if you're driving, although audiobooks, maybe that's a possibility, better than nothing. I think if you're on a train or if you get a bus, like that's like a perfect time to read. So my time is always been bedtime for reading. It's the key to my reading is reading at bedtime, and it's also the key to my insomnia problem that I used to have, and that in turn is the key to so many other things. My next tip, and it goes against joining my online book club, but what the hell, is join a book club, or if you haven't got the time or the energy and you don't want to join my online book club, then get a reading buddy. In the same way that like you're more likely to show up at Pilates if you've arranged to meet a friend there, get a reading buddy and say to that other mum or whoever it is, do you like books, or did you used to read? Didn't you used to read? Why don't we challenge each other to read this book together before the end of the month? You don't even have to join a book club, but if you wanted to, you could set up a book club with your 3 best friends, make a night of it, get some wine in or whatever. Guys, they are my how to fall back in love with reading tips. I really hope you enjoyed them, and I hope that you found it useful, and do come over to my Facebook group and join in the book club. It's a really easygoing, informal group. Hopefully I'll see you over there. I'll leave the links to it below. That's all for now, guys. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and hit subscribe if you're not already. Hit the alarm bell if you are subscribed, and then you won't miss a video. Okay, bye!